Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Now we move to the for the next topic. We delivered from Dr. Nur Izah Razak, she is the senior medical lecturer, human psychologist, Department of Human Anatomy at Faculty of Medicine and Health Science UPM, and also the member of the Medical Education Research and Innovation Unit, Mary Yu. Now, I would like to come Dr. Nur Izah.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good afternoon. I can see there is some 3 people in TikTok and 1 person in Facebook, I think. Welcome. Yeah. Nowadays we live in borderless world. Yeah, we can always have some communication with others through internet. So today my topic is going to be with regards of hormones and the harmony of the human body in Islam. We have several objectives for today. The first one, we want to explore the link between the hormone health and our inner peace. And then we are going to understand how Islamic teaching naturally support the hormone and emotional balance. And number 3, we want to encourage a deeper integration of faith and science for holistic well-being. So because this is like afternoon, everybody is a very, the hormone is not so activated like in the morning. So I'm going to ask question. But then we don't have to express verbally, because I understand everybody in Asia, we have some, methods of answering. So is it possible for you guys to scan the slide and then please answer with your heart? Tak nampak, sorry. Stress. So let not only me, everybody share the same stress. Nampak tak? Minta maaf. Saya ke mana? Saya ke sini.
Just 21 ke?
This is a connection tak ada.
Bibicon.
Bibicon pula. Tak dapat
Kena sign up Bibicon.
Okay, this is the cons of using technology. Giving you more stress. Okay, never mind. Maybe we can have some manual conversation. Anyone knows about hormone? Can you please hands up? Hormone. Hands up, please.
Yes.
All right. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, we leave the technology behind. So, what is hormones? Hormones is basically a chemical messenger. It's a chemical messenger in our body that travel through our blood, and it controls a very numerous vital system in our body. For example, the cardiovascular system, the respiratory system, the alimentary system, right? And then it regulates our mood and energy, regulates our sleep last night, right? Whether we have done the presentation or not, right? The stress response as well, and the metabolism in the cellular level, right? So why hormone is very important? It can regulate your emotion, whether you're going to be very happy. There is a specific hormones that regulates the happiness, and then whether you are going to be very anxious, or stressed. And these, if not being regulated well, in a very long term, it's going to have some a detrimental effect to our body, right? So hormones also control our sleep, whether we are very energetic or fatigued, and they even influence on how we perform acts of worship, such as concentration in prayer and patience in fasting. So all of this is being regulated by hormones. So we want to know whether our hormones in the body are well balanced or not, because all of this are going to give a result for mental clarity, the stability of our emotion, our health, physical health, and stronger spiritual focus. So if all of these are being disrupted, it's going to definitely affect our stress level. We are going to have poor sleep, yeah? Lack of spiritual practice can lead to anxiety, depression, and others. So I'm not going to touch for every single hormones. Yeah? I'm going to touch some of it, which regulates the stress and emotional. For example, oxytocin, melatonin, and cortisol. Anyone knows from which part of the body oxytocin is being produced?
The glands.
Oh, very good, glands. But we have many glands. So it is from our brain. Yeah, oxytocin from brain. Allah created a very special glands in our brain, and the size of the brain is approximately like pea size, very small. But then these powerful glands regulates almost everything in the body. Not everything, but almost everything. And the name of the gland is pituitary gland. Yes, we have physiologist postdoc here. And then we have melatonin, yeah, melatonin that regulates the sleeps, yeah, at night, and also cortisol. Cortisol is very important. So actually today, during we wake up in the morning for subuh at 3 a.m. So our cortisol level is going to be very high on that particular time, because we need cortisol so that we can wake up in the morning. Yeah. So, but if let's say the cortisol is consistently high, it will eventually, perhaps, can lead to, for example, diabetes mellitus. Yeah, regularly, persistently high level of glucose due to the increased level of cortisol. Right. So we need to reduce it by doing some activities, for example, shopping. Yeah, it's reduce the cortisol level. All right. So
Shopping physically, not online.
the bakul kuning. Alright. So these are the hormones that we're going to touch a bit for today. For example, serotonin. Serotonin is a mood stabilizer, right? Majority of it from alimentary system, from our gut, and some of it's from our brainstem, right? The function of this is to regulate our moods, digestion, sleep, pain, and promote happiness. So that is serotonin. So, in the case of depression and anxiety, there are many studies showing that the serotonin level is quite low, right? And then for dopamine, dopamine is a reward molecule. Again, it is being produced in brain. You don't have to remember about this. Yeah, this is for medical students. And then the function is to drive motivation, to increase our concentration, reinforcement and engagement, especially, yeah, as a Muslim, it is very important for us to be very focused in ibadah. And then if let's say the dopamine is low, it would maybe due to the low motivation and possibly addiction. Yeah? Addiction is quite serious issues nowadays, where the youngsters, they are using the substance abuse, yeah? The drugs that are easily available online. And then we have oxytocin again. Oxytocin, the function. Actually, the oxytocin, two of the major function of it is for the uterine contraction. Okay, when we give birth, oxytocin will eventually leads to uterine contraction. And number two is for ejection of milk for breastfeeding, right? And then we call this the bonding hormone. It is from the hypothalamus and will be released by the posterior pituitary. And then this oxytocin is very important. to enhance bonding, trust, lowers cortisol, and again for childbirth and breastfeeding. And if let's say the oxytocin is quite low, it will affect emotional bonding and trust. And then melatonin regulates our sleep. It is being produced in the pineal gland at night, and it regulates the circadian cycle, sleep-wake cycle, and support our immune system. And if the level of melatonin is very low, it will disrupt the sleep, reduce nighttime healing, and others that might, if let's say you're working until late at night, the melatonin is going to be disrupted. Yeah. So for the cortisol, it is being produced in adrenal gland. Adrenal is a gland, and the location of the gland is on top of renal kidney. And then the function is to manage the blood pressure, the glucose, inflammation, and metabolism in the body. And if let's say there is excessive level of cortisol, it will lead to high blood pressure, fatigue, diabetes mellitus, and leads to poor health, right? Okay. So in Islam, we have Islamic routine daily, and this we want to know whether this Islamic practice has any physiological benefit towards our health, right? So all of this, I have the reference from valid sources, yeah, from PubMed, from Scopus, and others. That is very valid. And there is um, research stated that if we perform daily prayer 5 times per day, this will regulate the cortisol and boost serotonin. Yeah, they measure the cortisol level in the blood and serotonin level, and they found that with people that perform 5 prayers per day, this will increase the serotonin level, right? This serotonin again will create a calmness and give boost for you to have a stable mental state. And then for fasting, Psalm fasting will improve insulin sensitivity, boost dopamine, and clears mental fog. There are many researchers, especially with regards of the insulin activity, improve the insulin level. And then for dhikr and meditation, yeah, just now our friend asked about how about yoga, isn't it? Right? So actually, dhikr and meditation, there the method is varies, right? At the moment, we can do our dhikr, and we can take approach like if you are having this session is a meditation session for us. If we take that way, all right. For dhikr and meditation, we have there are several findings stated that it will increase the oxytocin level, calms the nervous system, builds gratitude and inner stillness. And then next for Qiyamul Layl, night prayers. Again, this will regulate the melatonin cycle better and enhance emotional resilience and reduce anxiety, right? Again, Prof. Dr. Numala have touched about the karoshi just now, where in Japan, we understand that the level of working hours is very maximum, right? In this case, karoshi means death by overwork. Yeah? In this patient, they have found that the cortisol level is extremely high among the patients, and it is persistent. So there are over 10,000 of cases of this karoshi are reported annually in Japan. It's quite high, right? Okay, mainly due to the cardiovascular problem or cerebrovascular accidents, strokes, and suicidal that link to the workplace stress. And then there is a recent viral video, the salaryman in Japan, shows the Japanese workers working up to 18 hours per day, ending at 1 a.m. So this is one of the example of how the grind contribute to the mental exhaustion and hormonal imbalance in Japan. Right? So when we want to look about the mental health among Muslims in Japan, in 2023, there are approximately 350,000 Muslims live in Japan, including 230 foreign-born and 50 native converts. So the challenge are quite varies according to the race, especially. Number one is cultural and language barriers in accessing mental health. Mental health is not something easy to be conveyed, right? Let alone to go to the professional. So due to the cultural and language barrier, there is some problem to seek help. And then religious mismatch, about up to 13% of the Japanese view religious counseling as helpful, making faith integrated support rare. So only 2 to 13% think that religious counseling helpful. Right? It's quite low. Another challenge is microaggression towards Muslim that exacerbate stress, anxiety, and physical health issues, including hypertension, diabetes mellitus. Right? Okay, so now, can we try to scan the QR code? Okay. So actually, this is anonymous. You don't have to worry. You just can express yourself in this. So I'm not going to know who are you. Tak dapat
Oh, anonymous login. Okay.
Anonymous Boleh.
Share the link first. Link, okay.
Let's try. Cannot. Alright.
Cubalah. Kita bilang.
Or you can go to the TikTok Kalau tak guna nama sendiri tu okay lah. TikTok. Alright. So can you share your experience, your self experience, or anyone that you know that experienced mental health challenge in Japan or elsewhere? This is completely anonymous, right? Or you can go to TikTok. TikTok, you can ask question over there, or you can ask directly to me. But I understand that not everyone share this. Mas dapat Mas? Mas tengah jawab. Boleh.
Okay, can you share your experience?
Boleh. 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 Nanti kita share kat depan.
Next.
Okay, share je experience.
Share the experience.
Yes. So experience dia apa? Experience dia apa? What is the experience?
You want me to explain?
Tak apa.
Sini ke?
Boleh secara anonymous. Dah tak anonymous anymore.
Type lah pula kat sini. I see. Can you share? I jawab yes, dah nampak tak membaca. Okay, share. Tak boleh share.
Kita ambil masa sikit lah. Dalam 2-3 minit. Oh, tak boleh, Prof? Baik. Boleh, okay, thank you. Okay, please share, Dr. Zainal. Dr. Zainal nak share something.
Spiritual disturbance.
Oh.
Paranormal.
Oh, paranormal.
Normally hotel, not in Japan, tapi there was specifically in Japan.
No. Elsewhere pun boleh. Around the world. Boleh.
Normally happen hotel.
What kind of disturbance that you experience?
Normally when you change the hormone, moods and so on, and
Oh,
also
moods.
physical effects or something.
All right. Okay.
In certain hotel lah.
Yeah. Actually, we can't deny that, isn't it? Okay, because every single people experience different, right? So some people, they have ability like ability of hearing something. In psychiatry, we call it like delusion. For normal people, it's delusion, auditory delusion, or visual delusion when we see something, right? Or hallucination, and then or tactile hallucination. We feel someone is touching you, right? Gustatory hallucination. When we taste something, it tastes differently, right? Gustatory. So yes, we cannot deny that there is some existence of it. Perhaps we could measure some hormones during that particular time for research purpose, but it's not practical, isn't it? What we can do, I'm not Ustazah, but what is being recommended by Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is when we go to a new place, new room, we stay in a hotel, perhaps you could recite Al-Baqarah, Surah Al-Baqarah. Surah Al-Baqarah is a very powerful surah. It's not, maybe not perhaps the whole surah, it's very, very long, but then perhaps we can recite, or we can open the YouTube for recitation, and then we can see how after that. Is there any Al-Baqarah, any of the dia panjang, panjang. Right. Okay. We can read a bit about this. Panic, did not know how to handle. Panic, Prof. Kita bagi kat secretary senang. Panic, did not know how to handle. Right. If you can share more, what do you mean by panic? Is it you cannot communicate, or you just stop doing anything you do, or how? Panic, didn't know how to handle. Right. Some relative who experience anxiety, panic attacks, and depression. Okay. And then student while presenting his final year 2 project, my son's first girlfriend. Right? And yes. A majority of it is giving some diagnosis in psychiatry, right? Actually, it's not easy to give diagnosis. There are certain people in medical line, they can give the diagnosis based on a very strict criterias. Yeah, very strict criterias. But nowadays we know that the tools for screening, the health screening is very easily available online, right? But then it doesn't mean that you have depression. It doesn't mean that you have anxiety. The diagnosis must come from a professional, right? Okay. So this is the experience. Yeah? Right. Anyone else want to share?
Maybe I want to share something.
Yeah. Thank you.
I have a family member who had bipolar disorder.
Mm-hmm.
So he went into he was in manic state due to the death of his brother.
Mm-hmm.
So somehow during that manic state, he went to look for me
Mm-hmm.
at my office. Luckily, I was not there, but he wrote something at the whiteboard outside my door. And then the UPM guards, security guards had to handle.
Mm.
And then that happened like 6 years ago, and I haven't talked to him since. Even though we still meet in family gatherings, sometimes he comes to my house because he's my brother-in-law.
Mm-hmm.
But I never talked to him at all. I wonder how is it future, because he's brother-in-law, right? So our children play together. But then, the family relationship somehow, it affects. So how
It
you
has
say,
effect.
for
Yeah.
future, what do you suggest? Because I'm afraid he would do that again if something similar happens again, maybe the loss of the parents or something he wants to.
This is not easy, especially when it comes to our own family, isn't it? Right? So perhaps we can contact we ourselves, yeah. If we can accompany him to the nearest facilities, bring him there.
I think he
In
already
appointment,
had.
he already had. All right.
But myself, I don't trust. I don't trust to open the
Conversation.
yes.
Understand?
Because he might use it. Whatever it is. Dia adalah tak adalah agresif.
Did he receive proper medication and treatment? All right.
But macam mana kita nak trust balik? Macam kita nak feel balik the relationship. It's not that I don't want, but
Yeah.
takut lah. Kita takut.
Jadi dia makan dia ada anxiety lah.
I pula ada anxiety every time I meet him.
Kan?
Dari datang rumah. Takut dia. I don't know. Takut lah. Just takut. Bukan waktu tu dia agresif. Takut dia bila dia datang, dia tengok rumah kita ke apa, whatever. Bila dia manic tu, dia akan siapa aku boleh bukan kacau, siapa aku boleh pergi.
So now you're worried about your own safety?
My own safety, my children. Sebab family takkan kita kata, oh you cannot come. You cannot come to
Definitely.
my house. Takkan kita nak putuskan hubungan dia. Adik husband, Sampai at that time rasa macam
I understand. Yeah, understand.
dia boleh jeopardize a lot of things kan.
What about your husband? I mean, how?
Itu adik sendiri.
So Prof, do you have any yang betul kita?
Very,
Yeah, this is
my husband just ignore. Bukan ignore. Adik dia pun ignore. I punya anxiety pun ignore.
hormones.
Dia boleh
Hormones.
Dia safe. Itu adik dia ni buat.
Okay, Prof.
Usually
Okay.
bipolar ni, especially during manic lah, dia memang tak boleh control lah. And most of the time, sometimes apa yang dia buat tu is, kalau kita balik kepada ni is because of the illness kan dia buat ni. Jadi kita kalau dia macam ni kita anggap memang dia tak normal lah kan. Kalau dia normal dia tak buat macam tu kan. Okay, so satu. Tapi I understand your concern kan about your safety.
Yes.
So orang bipolar ni kita sebaik-baiknya dia one of the ni, kalau kita deal dengan dia orang ni, kita avoid confrontation, avoid provocation. Sebab benda tu dia akan cepat trigger. Dia akan cepat trigger. So tak apa, it's okay. It's okay for you to ignore. Sebab dia pun memang sebenarnya dia sebenarnya tak ada insight. Dia tak ada awareness. Dia pun tak kisah kalau orang ignore dia sebenarnya. Sebab dia memang dia rasa dia betul semua kan. Jadi dia sakit. Jadi dia kalau orang ignore pun dia tak kisahlah sebenarnya.
Kita takut pula kita ignore nanti dia akan trigger dia.
Tak
Ada ignorance ni trigger ni juga.
tak maksudnya kalau kata kalau you boleh macam buat macam secara biasa. Macam kalau dia datang
Macam biasa.
macam biasa je. Kalau dia cakap. Tapi kalau kata you tak nak bercakap tak apa, it's okay. Sebab dia sebenarnya macam tak kisah je sebab dia
Nampaknya macam tak kisah.
tak order pun sebenarnya. Dia sebab dia nature illness tu macam tu.
Sometimes takut macam dia kata, kau tak beli kat aku, kau tak cakap lah. Takut dia dendam pula ada gitu.
Tak ada. Dia unless kalau you provoke dia, you trigger dia, itu memang ni lah kan. Kalau kata macam biasa ni kan, macam kalau dia datang macam tu. It's okay for them sebenarnya. Dia sebab bipolar ni dia even apa ni macam skizofrenia bipolar, dia macam tak ada apa,
Walaupun during normal time.
normal time of course, tapi most of the time dia orang ni memang sedikit hypomanic nanti, sedikit depressed macam tu. Dia susah lah sebenarnya nak ni.
Orang macam ni dia isolated.
Ha?
Dia akan cuba menyendiri lah kan.
Dia tak, kalau bipolar ni dia kalau especially the manic tu lagi dia high, dia very high lah, dia very high. Lepas tu dia kalau
minute
kalau
untuk
kata
next
cakap
presenter.
besar,
Oh, ya ke?
cakap
Okey,
ni macam tu. Dia kalau dia tengah manic lah. So, kita orang ni kalau as a therapist, kita kalau bipolar ni kalau tengah manic tu dia okey je. Sebab
Dia tak agresif ke masa manic tu?
manic kalau dia irritable. Kalau dia jenis irritable itu memang agresif.
Itu yang macam kes yang tak pernah.
Tapi kalau macam dia suka cakap besar betul gelak-gelak kan, dia macam itu manic yang very very macam kita kalau kita orang terapis ni kita suka lah tengok manic yang betul. Positif.
Right.
Sebab dia meronokkan bila
Dia release lah.
cakap dengan dia sebab dia macam very grandiose lah dia kata nak buat ni, nak buat tu,
Cerita semua besar.
cerita tu kan. Kita kata kadang-kadang yang kalau ada religious punya theme tu yang apa ni
Macam-macam sebut dah.
dia dipilih oleh Allah semua tu lah.
Rasa
Very
special.
grandiose. Tapi kalau yang jenis very irritable tu yang sifat agresif tu.
Ada juga.
Kalau orang sudah besar ni bipolar lah.
No. We cannot simply give. I think this is very I suka the discussion yang kita ada. Kita boleh teruskan group ni insya-Allah. And we can ni boleh
Dia delusion. The delusion is a fixed false belief which is not in keeping with the culture. Macam dia fixed false belief yang tak betul lah. Fixed false belief.
baik.
Macam tu. Dipilih oleh Allah untuk menjadi dia kind of thing.
Boleh cerita apa yang buat dia rasa macam tu? Is it the hormone ke the chemical in the brain?
This is very interesting sebab memang ada there is some there are many we are discussing about whether the patients with bipolar or depression, they have it is because of their themselves or it is due to the DNA or genes expression. There are many research we have done many researches done around the world and the results are very significant. There are one gene expression IL interleukin 6 that is being related to one of the diagnoses, depression in particular, saying that in this patient, the expression of this gene is very high. Interleukin 6 is genes that are expressed in inflammation states. It is being uh, uh, printed in our blueprint, in our DNA. Yeah. So there is a specific DNA, the sequence of the nucleotide and the gene expression that is being already installed in our body. So that's why when we talk about the genetic inheritance, if the sibling they have a psychological disorder, the sibling might have more chances of getting psychological disorder as well, but not 100%, right? Okay. So there is another opinion here. One of my friends got depression during her teen years because during her childhood she was sexually abused by her family relatives. During her work, she also had many bad experiences with men clients. She went to psychiatrists, recovering, and sometimes need to take medication. Alhamdulillah, so she's getting the right treatment, right? Okay. Okay, so this we want to maintain the hormone balance and mental well-being. So we need to do several steps. Okay, the first one, sleep is very important. Sleep at night. Sleep at night, 7 to 8 hours, because during this period, the melatonin and cortisol is being regulated. And it follows a normal physiological circadian rhythm. And then eating mindfully, not wagyu, on and off is permissible, but then once in a while, okay. Avoiding sugar spike that disrupt insulin and mood hormones. This is very important to practice 5 times solat with the presence of khushu'. We need to concentrate, which improve the oxytocin and dopamine level. And then we engage in the community like this. We have friends, and this will stimulate the oxytocin and reduce cortisol level. And then incorporating with daily zik. Dhikr is remembering God. It's very simple. If we just think of God, it's dhikr already. Yeah? And saying Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, it's very, it's possible. Simple acts like, Subhanallah. It can shift emotional state and lower the stress hormone, in particular cortisol again. All right, the conclusion is if you want to have balanced hormone in harmonious body, we need to return to fitrah, right? Okay, because Islam reminds us that body, mind, soul are one entity. And then hormones are just a sign of Allah perfect design, sign of the power of Allah, and the worship and daily acts regulates our hormone naturally. So we follow whatever our deen said. And then mental health is not just about therapy. It is about reconnecting to our fitrah, natural disposition through reflection, worship, and balance. All right. So we want to return to the Islamic rhythm of life for emotional well-being and spiritual strength. Okay, I rasa soalan ni kita skip lah. Banyak benar soalan. So, arigatou gozaimasu. If you have any question, you can email me later. And this is my research interest. So, thank you. Sorry. Thank you.